Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get honey.
This is population. About to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if it makes the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all know what time you can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasizing Sasha Cloud, Gabby Williams said watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I play the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them if we cashing them. Let's fucking go, we about to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go, we going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get honey.
This is population. About to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Killing with the PrizePicks.
All right, what is up, fam? It's Friday. We got a 2-game slate. I think we really like some props today, so I think this is Redemption Friday for sure. It had some bad beats last night with John Quell. I think I made a note in the rankings that it's risky with her minutes, and yeah, she didn't play in the fourth, and yeah, just lost out on key minutes. But yeah, should have stayed away from that. So my bad on that call, and I think we can definitely get back today. We're getting some props that we normally don't get, and we have potentially Candace being out, which is going to open things up, open a lot of value up. Eric is going to join us, I think. He's doing something right now, but I think he's going to hop on anytime now. So once he gets on here, we'll get him on. I have a hard out in an hour. I have to be gone an hour. I'm traveling somewhere, so we're going to try to get through this quickly. Not do a thorough game analysis, but just focus on our core plays, because we already have a lot of core plays. So we'll do that, and hopefully we get Eric on here before we have to head out here. Let's catch up on chat real quick. Hey, what up, Sean? Redemption time, man. I hope so, for sure. I tell this intro slaps. Yeah, man, Underrated did a great job on that song. I love it. Hey, what up, Underrated? Speak of the devil. Hey, what up, Jatoa? Yeah, we had to get on early today. Like I said, I'm traveling this weekend, so I'm gonna be gone this weekend. But I'm gonna try to get some stuff out tonight for the slate tomorrow. Hey, what up, Obi? How you doing, man? Alex, what's good? Josh, hey, man, what's up? Diego, heist coming. Let's get it, man. Feeling good about this. Alex said, all good, bro. Probably the first bad day with you guys. And still trust you. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have bad days, man. I mean, some of the best sharks out there have like a 60, less than a 70% hit rate. So it's going to happen, man. It's just, got to keep moving forward and find the edge when you can. On slates especially today, I think we'll have a lot of value. Hey, appreciate that, MLB Goat. What's up, man? Alex said betting big today, because I know he'll come through. Hey, man, the crew's on it today, man. We've been on it since this morning, grinding these props, so feeling pretty good about it. Linwood said, hey, fellas, I fat finger John Quell Pierre under and hit. Hey, speaking of that, I made a typo on Twitter when I posted the rankings. I put John Quell's projection for PRA at 17, and I meant to do 27. And she finished with, I think, 16 PRA. So the typo was actually spot on. Hey, what are you going to do? Okay, let's just get started, and we'll see if Eric joins us soon. But first game, 7 p.m. Eastern. very large spread. We recently saw this matchup, and it makes sense for the large spread because you're the two fastest teams going at it, number 1 and number 2 in pace, and it's a 173.5 total. And it's Vegas at Indiana, and again, Vegas is 14-point favorites. I think the last time they played, it got all the way up to near 18-point spread, and yeah, Vegas did the thing and blew them out. But Indiana made a late run there at the end, and forced the starters to come back on the court for Vegas. So maybe Indiana playing at home, they can do a little bit better and keep the game going longer, but it's Indiana. They have the worst offensive rating and the worst defensive rating in the league. So odds are that it will blow out. And with that said, if we think it's actually going to blow out, one strategy we took in the last matchup is that we did some unders here. We went under on Asia's rebound, which is always scary. But the thinking there is, she's not in a blowout. She's going to play 19 minutes. She's pretty hard capped at 19 minutes in a blowout. If it's, above, 20, 25 going into the fourth, she's not going to come back in the fourth. So that worked out last time, even though she checked back in the fourth, finished with 8 rebounds. With anything that's a little more risky. We felt so good that Vegas was going to blow them out last game at home because they were coming off a tough loss at home against Atlanta. With them traveling to Indiana and Indiana playing at home, I think it's probably too risky to do under like that. And then the same for Kelsey, since Indiana is so good on the perimeter with their defense and they really focus in on stopping 3-point shooting, we took the under on her points and she fell well below that last game. But again, back to what I said, Indiana playing at home, maybe she's forced to shoot a little more. And we know Kelsey, she can rack up points in a flurry. We just saw against Chicago, she had, 12 points in the first quarter. So if she's hitting her threes, that can be scary to go under on her points. I might just stay away from her altogether because of the blowout potential, and I just don't want to risk doing any unders with her. Now, the one that's I really liked under-wise, and with the blowout kind of theory, is Asia Wilson's turnovers. So it's at 1.5. She averages on the season 1.6. Last time they played, she finished, I believe, with 0 turnovers. If we think it blows out and she plays 19 minutes, I think she's going to stay below her season average because, this average is going with her usual 30 minutes a game. So I like that. And Indiana's not really a threat for causing turnovers. They're middle of the road in opponent turnover percentage. So I like that a lot, under 1.5 turnover. And she's really good with handling the ball and, just stay away from offensive charges. That's the main thing. So I like that. And then the other one I think that would stand up to me, and I never play her, but the matchup is so good, and she did well last time, would be Hamby's 7.5 points. Indiana gives up the most points in the paint, and Hamby scores majority of her points in the paint. She almost 62% of her points come from the paint. It's a really low line for her. She got it done last time, and she shot 2 of 6 from the free throw line and still cleared it with 10 points. So, she shoots better. She gets fouled and shoots better from the free throw line. I think the 7.5 is definitely in play. They just added Williams. We never really get bench players for Vegas, so this is kind of new. She shot really poor that game, 1 of 7. But yeah, she finished with 3 points. I think her prop line is at 7 points. A little risky with the bench player. With that, you're really hoping for a blowout and that she gets like all the garbage time run in the fourth quarter. So if you're playing a blowout card narrative, I definitely get it with her. But yeah, everyone else, I'm just worried about blowout potential. So I'm probably going to stay away from overs on all the other players. And then the unders would be risky too, because Indiana being at home. So core for me would be Asia's under 1.5 turnover, and her free throws are always in play too. They have it at 3.5. So if you think the game's going to stay close longer into the fourth, I think you could definitely consider this 3.5. Because Indiana is third in free throw attempts allowed. So definitely favorable for that. So those two I probably like the most for her. And her stocks are always in play, but if she doesn't get that full run, man, I mean, she can get it. I mean, we've seen her rack up stocks in a flurry in just one quarter, so totally get it. I think she pushed that in the last matchup against Indiana. And then I'll put Hamby for her points, and that's about it. I'm really worried about the blowout, and I'm going to say it's about an 80% probability that this game blows out. Okay, so Indiana. There was a prop that was on the board that we really liked, and they took it down, unfortunately. I guess because we were all smashing under on it, but they had Victoria at 3 assists, and we really liked the under on that. She was averaging 2.6. Let's see if they put it back. I doubt it. And if they do, maybe they put it at 2.5. But yeah, we really like that. But I think you could consider Robinson's 3.5 assists over in a fast-paced matchup at home, and if the players around her are shooting better at home, like Mitchell and Victoria, I think the 3.5 is definitely in play. She cleared that in the last matchup, and she's been playmaking pretty steady as of late. I think she averages about almost 4 assists on the season. So in this fast-paced matchup, there's going to be more shot opportunities and higher shot volume as a team. So I think you could consider that. It's right there on the edge. So a little more mid-tier, but I think if you wanted some correlation, you could pair that with Kelsey Mitchell's 16.5 points or her 2 threes made. She shoots much better from the 3-point line at home. And yeah, I mean, but this point total is just so low for her. It's the lowest I've ever seen. And, Vegas, one thing they do is give up the most threes. They allow the most 3-point made, and they allow the most 3-point attempts. So if Kelsey can just, shoot efficiently from 3, I feel like she'll clear the point prop and most likely the 3-point prop as well. So I'll probably say that 1A, 1B, but for her, and with her, she could still clear this point prop in a blowout because sometimes she will play in garbage time. So it's okay to play this in a blowout card too, I feel like. And then the other one I really liked is Egbo's 1.5 turnovers. We played this last time in the same matchup. She had 3 turnovers right away, like I think within the same quarter. She's going to play about 19 to 20 minutes. She stays out of foul trouble, and she's averaging 2 turnovers on the season. And with Asia in the paint and Hamby being a solid defender, great defender, and then you have Chelsea and others coming in and could pickpocket her. It's a great spot for her to turn it over again in this matchup. I know she's at home, but it's just nature of the beast in this matchup. I feel like that she's going to turn it over. So I like that. I was going to say I probably like that more than the Kelsey because we know Kelsey can be streaky, but she does have a lot of great shooting games. I think well over 5 or 6 games with over 20 points. So and this matchup sets up nice for a fast pace and 3-point attempts are there for her. So probably the one time I feel comfortable with going with Mitchell, but it's never fun targeting Indiana for their offense because, like I said, they are dead last in offensive rating. So other than that, I mean, I think you could consider in the list that she had a really good game in this last matchup. If you want to go with her points or PR, because she's really efficient rebounder as well. But that's more mid-tier for me. I'm not going to probably play it, to be honest. We usually play her PR when it's around 22, and I think that's what it is today. So you can consider that. But, I don't feel great about Indiana, so offensively. And then the one I really like, I almost forgot, is Tiffany Mitchell. They gave us props for her. She's been playing a lot of minutes off the bench, especially when Egbo gets in foul trouble. And I think she closes over Egbo too. They have a crazy low prop lines for her at 9.5 PRA and 12 fantasy. And if it's a blowout, she's going to play. It's going to solidify her minutes even more. She's been playing around 20 to 24 minutes over the last 5 games, and that's why you're seeing this spike in fantasy points. And she's been productive off the bench. Let's see, she's averaging on the season 6 points, but a lot of that was in the beginning of the season where she wasn't playing this many minutes. So the averages are going to be a little bit skewed and not accurate. So I think you could definitely get on her fantasy or PRA. I really like these props for her, and especially in a blowout narrative too. So I think it's going to be in a core play in the top 5 for sure. I almost forgot to mention that because they just added that to the board. So I really like that. Go with the Mitchell duo. Yeah, and that's about it. I would say it's probably 1A, 1B in terms of my favorite targets for Indiana in between Egbo's turnovers and Mitchell's fantasy. And then I really like Wilson's under 1.5 turnover. Let's see what you guys think before we move on to the last game. We're doing okay on time, so we can take any questions. What up, Vince? National Howard Day. If you don't know me, I mean, Natasha Howard is like the bane of my existence. Like, when I play over under turnovers, she gets 0 turnovers. When I play her fantasy, she has 8 turnovers, which makes her fall short of her fantasy. So since then, I've stayed away from her, but this is such a good spot for her, especially with Candace most likely out. Alex said blowout games are scary and sketchy. Yeah, they are, for sure. Hey, what up, Aguida? All right. I just want to make sure, double check that I covered everything that we've talked about as a crew and everyone's targeting. I think, Chelsea's stock potential is always live. You can always consider that. So good at stealing the ball and picking off passes for sure. So, but it's more mid-tier for me. Indiana is second in turnover percentage, so I think you can consider it. Forget how many stocks she had that last matchup. Oh, I guess we should look at first half props for Vegas too, real quick. Okay, so she had 3 in that matchup. But like I said, the starters did come back in the fourth and got some fourth quarter run there. So, yeah, it has a really good shot of pushing. So, at the least. Yeah, first half props. Let's look. Okay, Asia's at our usual 21.5. I think was this the game that it burned us? No, it was the Chicago game. She missed by 0.5. Yeah. No, she crushed Indiana. I remember that. I think you can definitely consider that if you don't want to go under on her turnovers, for sure. And let's see. Yeah, that would probably be the primary one for me, just because of Asia, how much she dominates the first quarter, the usage. Everything goes to her, and she's so efficient in the first quarter run, so. Oh, they bumped it. Yeah, so last time they played Indiana, her points were 9.5, and they bumped it up to 10.5, looks like. So she still would have cleared that in the last matchup. And then I guess the one other thing to mention in this matchup would be, we targeted this last time they played. Free throws made in the first 6 minutes, they crushed it. I think they had 3 or 4 free throws, Vegas did, in the first 6 minutes. So, yeah, with Indiana giving up the 3rd most free throw attempts and how aggressive Asia is early in the first quarter and attacking the basket and her high usage rate, totally makes sense if you want to go with this. But there's a lot of variance that comes with it because you're depending on the refs to make the call early. So, and it's in Indiana, so never know. But that would make it more mid-tier for me just because of the variance. But the process definitely points towards it going over. They have for these. So they have 3-point made for Indy starters at 1. Could be interesting, but their offense is so inefficient. Probably wouldn't want to rely on any Indy prop like that. But I imagine they're going to chuck it from 3 at home against Vegas because that's what everyone does against Vegas. So, okay, let's move to the next game. The next game starts an hour later, 8 p.m. Eastern, 164 total. I that was pre-Candace being rolled out, so it might have changed, and the spread has probably changed since then as well. So I'll update that. But yeah, Candace is not officially rolled out since the last time I checked for going live, but it's really leaning towards her being out. So with the late day questionable tag. So it's going to change things up. I think the one piece we're waiting on is Azra props, and I think PrizePicks will probably wait till they get confirmation that Candace is out before dropping her line. So I have to wait for that. But yeah, so Candace being out is obviously going to change things up for Chicago, but it's also going to change things up for New York. So a lot of times, when a key player gets rolled out, we just focus so much on the team that the player is on and how it affects that team, but you got to also consider how it affects the opposing team. So, Candace is responsible for a lot of blocks, steals, and just defensive presence. She has she's one of the best defensive ratings on the team, 94. Vandersloot slightly ahead of her at 91. And then she has the highest rebound percentage by far at 15. So you take away the best rebounder who's averaging over 9.5 rebounds, it's going to really open up some rebound potential for New York. And another thing is that Chicago they're already really bad at defending the paint. They're third in points allowed in the paint. So they get over the third most points in the paint. And now you take out Candace, who's defensive presence, who's there to block shots and disrupt drives to the basket. That's going to increase the amount of points in the paint even more so. So players like Natasha Howard, who gets almost 60% of her points in the paint, Dolson, and then even Shaq Zhu, they're going to really benefit from this. So one thing I wanted to check on, I didn't have time to, is if Azra starts and Candace is actually out, I want to check into Azra's foul rate per 100 possessions, because Natasha Howard's been really racking up drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line and being aggressive. So it's only at 2.5, I think, her free throw prop. So if you want a low line for her, that makes sense. She's going to attack, and if Azra does foul at a high rate, I need to double check that, then that could definitely be in play. But I just like the scoring potential for all these bigs who get majority of the points in the paint in this matchup, with Candace most likely out. So let's go back. And so, yeah, so with that said, I like Natasha's scoring potential here, but I also like her rebound potential because, like I said, Candace, that's leaving so many rebounds off the board. So I can't decide between her rebound prop or her points and rebound. I'm probably just going to lean, if I had to choose which one I was going to have more exposure to, it's probably the points and rebound because of the scoring potential here, and with Candace being out and the rebound potential. So might just want to capture it all and go with the PR at 23.5, I think it is. And then I think you consider Dolson's points here. So in all 3 matchups against Chicago, her former team, so she's returning back to Chicago. she played really well. She scored 6 points in the first matchup, but that was a 30-point blowout. And in the other two matchups, she had 12 and 13 points. And Candace played in those games. So, I think she can have her way with Azra. And then if she hits, a three that she tends to do in the second half, I think she can clear the 7.5. And I like it even more now with the Candace news. I was already on it before the Candace news. So I really like her scoring potential here. And then the only other key piece I would say is probably Sabrina here. So New York, they are 2.5 games back from a playoff spot. So this is really do or die going forward for the rest of the schedule. They can't afford to have losses anymore. So with Candace potentially being out, this is a time for them to take advantage of that and pull off a road win here. And Sabrina has shown that she can be pretty efficient on the road too. And I feel like this is a time for her to step it up and carry the team. So I'm on the fence with her, debating between her PRA at 29.5. She's averaging about 30.6 because she should rack up rebounds with, like I said, Candace being out. She had 8 rebounds in the most recent matchup. Or going with her 3-point prop, which is at 2. Cade really liked this prop because of how many threes she takes, especially on the road, and in a do or die spot here to stay alive. I feel like she's gonna chuck it. It's just the only concern is can she get hot or is she gonna stay cold? Can she stay cold, which we've seen before? So I totally get it. I think it does have a high chance to push because she's averaging 2.4 threes made. So it really does have a high chance to push and then obviously clear. I think in all 3 matchups, she cleared it once with 3 threes made. She had, this game she shot 3-6. And then the other one was the blowout one, the 50 to 83. So got to take that with a grain of salt. She only took 2 threes. That's not like her. She had in the other one, she shot 2 of 6. So I think the only thing is like Chicago's defense funnels everything to the inside, and that's why they give up so many points in the paint. They're so good on the perimeter defending it. So I don't know if this is like it's a small sample size. I don't know if this is like suggesting that she's gonna stay around 6 attempts because we really want her to get around 8 to 10 attempts. That would be most ideal, which a lot of games she'll have 8 to 10, but she's averaging almost 7. Maybe she gets a couple more up. If she gets 8 attempts, I would feel really good about that. But I would say it's a 1A, 1B between her PRA and that. I can't decide. So, but I think Natasha's in the best spot here, matchup-wise with Candace Snoods for her PR and her rebound. And we'll go with Sabrina. And then, like I said, Dolson. I think you definitely consider that. And then I'm probably going to stay away from everyone else because they rotate in so many different players. So, like, Marine, they'll rotate in. Sammy, they'll rotate in. So, I'm probably going to stay away from these other starters who don't play many minutes. Dangerfield's always a fun under if you want for her points. And, Shakzu, I think her points could be considered. She played well in the last matchup. I think she had over 10 points. So I guess we'll move on to Chicago. And this is where the money well is at, I think. So with Candace out, this is a huge boost for KFC, Khalil. And she's been posting on Twitter, joking around with people like about this being the game for her. She's ready. So we love her, man. She's a hooper, like so much tenacity, especially as of late, attacking the basket, getting it done. I mean, she's really carrying the team. And a big reason why they're winning so many games lately, especially when Vandersloot was out. They juiced a lot of her lines, but we noticed the one we probably like the most is her PRA. They only juiced it by 1 since the Candace news. And she's cleared this easily the last 2 games that Candace was out. Although those 2 games were against Indiana and Atlanta. So take it for what it is on that. I mean, it's Indiana, we're a defensive team, but still, the usage is going to be there. Shot volume, everything. Rebounding, too, especially with Candace out. She's going to have to pick up the rebounding even more so. So really like that. You can consider a PR, too, because she doesn't really assist that much. But with Candace being out, her assist rate could go up a little bit. I mean, she only averages 2 assists on the season. Core play, 100%. Yeah, and especially if New York goes down fighting and keeps this game close, it makes me like Copper even more. I like a lot of her lines. Her PRA, her PR, her free throws, even her block steal at 0.5, because she's going to have to be more active on defense with Candace out. Love KFC today. Love her. Probably number 1 core play. Almost every card I would have. One of her lines, but mainly probably the PRA. Get exposure to different lines for her if you're building a lot of cards. And then I think the other piece we probably want is Azura. Once we get those lines, I would keep an eye out for that. Yeah, she's gonna. I'd probably look for her scoring or her point, depending what they open it at. If it's at 10.5, I would consider it, because she's gonna shoot threes, and she's gonna shoot a lot more threes if she starts and Candace is out. So she doesn't really get it done on the glass that much, and yeah, not that many stocks. I mean, only 1 stock she averages, and a little less 1 turnover. So maybe her fantasy, depending on what they open it at. But that would be the other one I would like for Chicago. And then the other players, I know they're getting a boost with Candace out, and I'll have to look into this more, but I don't like any of them. I mean, especially after that Quigley debacle last game. They're just so hard to figure out. I mean, I think besides Copper, I obviously think Emma gets a huge boost because she's their only true big presence in the paint. So should give a boost to her rebounding, her stock potential, which they took off the board. Unfortunately, it was at 1.5. They took it down, but you could capture all that with their fantasy. Let's see, I forgot what they opened it at. Wow, I was gonna say, oh man, 32.5. It got real juiced. But we've seen it, man. When I think the games that Candace is out, she just like absolutely crushed it, fantasy wise. So potential is definitely there. But man, I just hate targeting Chicago players because they're just like a really well-rounded team, and things can get just diluted and spread out between them all. Besides Copper. Oh, we got Azure. Okay, here we go. 9.5 points. Okay, so I would consider that. I would consider that for sure. I probably like that the most for her because of her 3-point shooting, and probably get a spike in her 3-point attempts with Candace out. I'll probably mark that as my second favorite. Let's see what you guys think. If you guys have a better lean for her, if you like her fantasy more, we can talk about that. But I mean, it's still below her season average coming off the bench. And yeah, she's taken on average 3 threes a game. I think with Candace being out, you could probably get that up to about 5 or 6, or even more so. Yeah, I probably like her points the most. And then we'll put Emma's fantasy, but it's just because we don't have her stock up anymore, because she racked up so many stocks when Candace was out. Because yes, like I said, she's going to fill in that role, main key hog role in the paint, so it's going to increase her stock potential and rebound potential. So I'll probably just capture it all with the fantasy. And then, Vanessa would make sense with her assists, but especially with Candace out, because Candace accounted for about 4.5 assists for the team. Let's look at the assist percentage here. Candace was second in assist percentage at 24, and Vandersloot's at 35. So might be even a slight bump in assist percentage for Vandersloot and maybe even Emma too. But they rotate the ball around so much, it can be random. And 6, I mean, 6 is high. It's high. I get it. It's Vandersloot, but I don't like targeting high assist in WNBA unless it's Cloud or yeah, that's about it. So probably just stay away. I mean, you could consider Vandersloot's stock potential because Natasha Howard turns it over so much, and Sabrina as well. I think that's probably the only low line I would go for Vandersloot. So yeah, we'll add that, but not feeling crazy about it. But I mean, New York, they will cough it up. I think they have they're 4th in turnover percentage. So yeah, great spot for KFC though. Great spot. All right, let's catch up with chat, and then I will I'll do probably a card combination of what I would play, and then I can share my current rank list where I'm at right now, note wise, because I'm gonna have to get that out early before I leave. So Vincent played the opposite. Howard prop is Josh. Yeah, I'm cursed by her, man. Lorenzo, what's up, man? Asia should dominate. If Egbo gets in foul trouble, it's over. Oh yeah, I mean, even if Egbo plays, man, like Indiana gives up the most points in the paint. Yeah, Indiana's no size. Goat said, I think Dolson's 7.5 points look good, and Zhao. Yeah, that stood out to me right away this morning. So Vince said Ezra's averaging 1.6 fouls in 21 minutes. Okay, so thanks, Vince. Yeah, she's not fouling that much. Andre said Tommy has Chicago props way low, and he's referring to underdog. Copper 14.5 points, Emma 5.5 rebound, Azra 8.5 points. Wow. I mean, Azra is always at like that 8-point mark when she's coming off the bench. You got to imagine she comes in, plays more minutes. Because with her, a lot of it's just like it's minutes issue. Like she's always almost there, like right on the line, point line, and then she just doesn't get there because she doesn't have enough minutes. Yeah, see, she's like 6, 8, or 9, 10, 7. So 8.5. Yeah, that sounds really good. Sean said, I got Sabrina PRA, Egbo turnovers, and KFC's PR. I like it. I'm on the fence between Sabrina and Natasha. I'm not going to play them in the same card. Could clear it. I just think, I'm going to hedge my bets and go with one or the other in a card, and I just don't know. I mean, it's setting up real nice for Natasha, but she's burned me, like I said, and Sabrina, I just have a feeling that she's going to have to put the team on her back and in desperation mode. So I get both scenarios and avenues, and I just can't decide which one I want to lean heavier on. So, but if you guys got a good gut feel on it, definitely get behind either one in this matchup with Candace being out. Okay. So maybe instead of just doing the card, let's just look at this is where it kind of stand on the rankings. Overall, Copper, obviously, KFC. Mitchell, I really like. I feel like that line's too low for how many minutes she's been playing lately. 20 plus minutes, and it's 12 fantasy points, and how productive she is. So I like that as a second. And then Egbo's turnovers, like we already said. And then Natasha, either her 23.5 PR or 7.5 rebounds. And then you can obviously consider her free throws too at 2.5. And then her turnovers at 3. But with Candace being out, I don't know if it's going to change things much, but her turnover potential is always there. And then Asia's 1.5 turnover under, and then Sabrina's PRA or her 3-point prop. And then like I said, Dolson I like, and and then the bottom 3 would be the ones that I think have a high potential, but they also have a high risk too, with just Kelsey and being an inefficient offense in Indiana, and a streaky shooter, but it's setting up real nice for her. So, and then Hamby, she can disappear and be unmotivated, but you couldn't ask for a better matchup. With just like Lorenza said, like they have no bigs and they can't defend the paint, Indiana, at all. So she could definitely get that done in 3 quarters. I feel like in a blowout. And then Robinson, if you wanted to pair that with Mitchell's points, really nice correlation there. And then I'm gonna add some secondary alternative props to some of these players because we like so many other prop lines. And I'll add that to here. And then we could consider Raquana Williams, like I said, as a more mid tier. But I'll update this. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll share it, and then put it in Discord as well. And I'll probably get that done in 20 minutes. I'll post it right as I'm leaving in 20 minutes. And I'll be away, but I'll be rooting for you guys in the background. Hoping these lines come through, man. Just gotta avoid blowouts killing us, and because both these games have blowout potential, but maybe less so in this game now with Candace most likely being out. I'll just build a card what I would go with, and we'll get out of here. I'm gonna go Copper, obviously, and then I'm gonna go Asia under. And then here for the 4 spot, I think either rotating in Dolson's points, Sabrina's PRA, or Natasha Howard's PR. I like all 3. I think you could rotate those in as the last 4th piece to the card. And or you could just build like multiple cards with like combinations of like that, getting exposure to both Sabrina and Natasha. Because I feel like one of them is going to get it done if things don't go sideways in that game. But that would be like the core 3 for me, I feel like. And then you could rotate in also Eggo's turnovers. With her, the main risk is minutes. We want her to get enough minutes out there to turn it over. So if she gets in early foul trouble, and loses out on key minutes, there's a range of outcomes where she finishes with like 1 turnover because she just doesn't play enough minutes. So something to think about with that. But I mean, it's a great spot for her to turn it over, as you can see. So she played really well in that Dallas game, but it's Dallas. They give up the 2nd most points to centers. So I'll just let's pick one for now. But like I said, you can rotate in different ones. Let's go with Azra now. I think you could do that too. Because when I was building my cards, I did not have that prop. So I like that. JT said I just go straight Howard rebounds. Yeah, I'm on the fence about that. I'm in agreement with you. I like it, but I also like her scoring potential. I want access to that, but she can be very inefficient shooting too. So, But the rebounds could be that. I just hope that like Sabrina doesn't. There's games where Sabrina has spike rebound games where she'll have like 10 rebounds and soak up all the boards away from Natasha, and vice versa. Natasha will soak up all the rebounds away from Sabrina. So, and you'll see Sabrina finish with like 4 or 5 rebounds, and that's because like Natasha dominated the glass. So that's why I'm probably going to keep their cards separate, especially if I'm playing PR or PRA between them. All right, guys, I'm going to update this. I'm going to get out of here. I guess Eric is still out. We'll be back on Tuesday because I usually there's not a game on Monday. So let's double check the schedule real quick before we get out of here. Okay, yeah. No game on Monday as usual. Oh, nice. We got a 4 game slate on Tuesday. Wow. another big slate to deal with. All right, definitely be back for that. We'll probably start researching and start cooking up stuff on Monday, so we'll be ready for that. Yeah, there's no morning game either, so that's nice. And oh wow, yeah, we have a jam-packed week. Wow, at least 2 games each day, which is nice. Sometimes we get 1 game slates when we have this many games. All right, next week looks like a lot of fun. Hopefully we can build a bankroll up tonight and have that money ready for what looks like to be a really big week for us. So you guys have a good weekend, man. I'll be traveling, but I'll be around. Like I said, I'll try to get some stuff out tonight for tomorrow slate and post some data and update the spreadsheet and rankings for these 2 games tomorrow. And then the crew will probably carry the load on Sunday and share the stuff on Discord. So, all right, that's it. Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Enjoy your trip. All right, I'll catch you guys later. I'll be in and out, but I'll try to check in on Discord. All right, I'll see you guys. Peace.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it goes strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all know what time you can't make up your mind, and just go with your gut. Fantasizing, Sasha Cloud. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I play the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population.